Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about this thing. You know, I love tape, and you know what? I figured I would bring it over into the computer age. We're going to talk about this kind of tape. This is computer backup tape, and specifically the Iomega Ditto Easy 800, which boasts 800 megabytes of compressed storage, 400 megabytes natively. Now, it may not seem like a lot, but this is from the mid-1990s, so that was actually a lot of storage back then. Tape drives are something that I never really messed with back in the day, and it was something that I wanted to kind of play around with just as a nostalgia factor, something that I didn't have a chance to really explore back in the day. So let's take a look at this mid-90s tape backup drive today, so stay tuned. So like I said, tape drives weren't really something that I messed with back in the day. I always thought they were cool. You remember seeing the old computers with the reel-to-reel tapes and all that. I thought that was neat. Now, I did load programs on a Commodore off of tape, but that's a little bit different. This isn't meant really for loading stuff into the computer. It's not a random access thing. It is strictly a backup drive, a place to send all of your hard drive contents or your data and store it in a reliable way. Kind of neat. So let's take a look at the box here. Now, obviously this one isn't brand new, but it is pretty complete in the box. I found it on eBay, and these things are, you know, still readily available and pretty cheap. So I figured, you know what, we'll give it a shot. So looking over the box, Iomega is pretty well known. They made the zip drive, which was out at about the same time as this, but if you look back on the zip drives, those were, what, 100 megabytes or so. So this one basically offered like 8 times the storage of the little zip disk. The zip disks were pretty cool. I mean, it was still, you know, 100 megabytes, a lot more than a 1.44 megabyte floppy, but getting 800 megabytes on one tape, that's pretty cool. Now, as we look at the box here, it does say that it is the newest, coolest, most portable drive. Now, that's a pretty bold claim. It says Ditto Easy Drive is small, lightweight, and easy to move from one computer to another, making it an ideal backup solution for multiple locations. It's universal, so no more confusion trying to match tape cartridges with drives. Ditto Easy 800 works with 800 Trevan, 420, 350, and 250 cartridges. So for tape drives, it's pretty universal, which made it, you know, I guess you could interchange it with different systems. But this is a parallel port drive, and we'll take a look more at that here in just a minute. But if we spin the box around, they start talking about their one-step backup software. It's supposed to be an easy-to-use interface, and you know, makes it easier than ever before. Don't have to learn new software, even though there's software in here, and you don't have to remember to back up. So looks like maybe you can schedule it and you know, do it that way. So kind of neat. All right, well, let's look over here. Now this one, the owner of this had notes written everywhere. It's kind of neat to look through everything that he's done with it. He kept a log of everything that he did with this thing. But as far as system requirements go, doesn't take much of a computer to run it. You know, by mid-90s standards, this is a Windows 95 certified device, and Windows 3.1 also works on Windows 98. But system requirements, just a 386 or higher, so you didn't need to have, you know, a huge computer, 4 megabytes of RAM, 2 megabytes of hard disk space, or if you're running DOS 5 or higher with 540K of RAM and 2.5 megabytes of hard drive space. So it doesn't take a whole lot of system resources to run it. Now, if we jump over to the specifications, this is where, you know, we get to learn a little bit more about what this thing's going to do, and its amazing capacity for 1995 or so. But it says it boasts a 400 megabyte capacity up to 800 megabytes compressed. So the native capacity of each of the tapes is 400 megabytes, but through compression, they're thinking you can get 800 megabytes out of it. Backup up to 9.5 megabit per minute. That's per minute, not per second. Remember, it's a parallel port device. different types of tapes or protocols that it reads and writes, up to 1,000 kilobits per second transfer rate, supports standard and enhanced parallel ports, second connector for your printer. It does have a pass-through, says it has a 200,000 hour life and a 2-year warranty. So I think we're probably out of the warranty period if this thing doesn't work. But I think we should go ahead and take a look inside this thing, see what's in the box, and get it hooked up. All right, there's our stuff. Let's see what we got here. We've got the original Welcome to Ditto Drive software packet, all the stuff you need to get started. We'll look at that here in just a minute. So in here we've got the Ditto drive, and I left all the stickers and everything that the guy had on this thing because, you know, I find it humorous when people label everything. He's got the tech support line number on here, repair line, sales information. He's got the ports labeled, which was actually handy. He got the phone numbers on the bottom again here. Judging by the writing, it looked like an older guy back in the 90s. So, but it's a pretty standard little external drive, not too heavy, plasticky. It is set up to where you can set it up vertically or down horizontally, and it does come with the big heavy power brick with it as well. So that's our main stuff. It does not come with a parallel cable, so that's something that we'll have to provide. But let's take a second to take a look in the packet here. Hopefully there's some interesting stuff in here. Got the original software pouch that comes with their one-step backup software, a disk number 2, and a DOS. So I guess it does come with DOS, so you can run it no matter what. And again, the guy has got his notes in here everywhere. I got the Arcadia software registration. I don't know how much money you make and all that fun and happy stuff. Let's see what else we've got. Let's pull it all out of here. All right. So we've got the Ditto Drive Tape Systems Reference Guide, which looks like talks about inserting and removing tapes, pre-formatted tapes, the different tape compatibility for this particular machine, reformatting the tapes. Let's see. Wow, says it using the Ditto Dash accelerator, it formats the tape in about 6 hours. Wow, that's for a different drive. That's a long time. We got all sorts of solving problems, contacting Iomega, external tape drive installation guide, unpack the tape drive, locate your parallel port, connect it, plug it in, turn it on, stick your tape in. All right, well, that seems pretty standard. The software installation guide, and the guy was so kind as to write his notes on here. You must alter the autoexec.bat by going to run, then add 2 lines. So he's even got the instructions on what to add into his autoexec.bat file. And looks like it's just put the disk in and install the software. Interesting. Now, one thing that was also in the box when I got it was all of his notes about what he needs to do to back things up. But he even printed his autoexec.bat file and all that stuff and configurations, so that I guess if he lost it, he would have it. So it's kind of neat. A little dot matrix printer action going on there. I mean, just all sorts of computer printouts showing all of his files that he backed up, and I mean, just kind of a neat piece of history in there. I mean, he definitely kept track of it. Now, I did get a few tapes with this also, and they are the 200 megabyte native, 420 megabyte compressed tapes. But judging by the dates on a lot of these. This one was from 1997. I think I saw one of them from 2001. Yeah, this one's from 2001. This one, I believe, is from 1996 or 7. So he actually looks like used this for quite a few years, even into the new millennium. This guy was backing stuff up on tape, which, you know, if you think about it, it was a pretty reliable backup solution back in the day. Wasn't the fastest thing in the world, but you know, they were definitely reliable. Let's take a look at one of the tapes here. I actually find these tapes really fascinating. They're really heavy for their size, and they're a metal bottom on these, no sprocket holes exposed on the bottom, just a real heavy, solid tape. And it's got the 2 reels in there, and it looks like on the end that's actually the tape running through there. It's not. That's actually a belt that drives this whole mechanism. It looks like the heads actually hit the tape on the side, and then there's a roller here in the middle that advances it, but that belt in the back actually advances the whole thing. It's really ingenious. Has a right protect notch on it. Make sure you don't record over your backups. Overall, I mean, just a really neat concept with these. So I think it's time that we go ahead and get the Windows 98 machine, the HP Pavilion, set up. I'll get the software installed, and let's take a look and see what we can do with backing up some stuff. Let's get her all booted up here into Windows 98. Now on this computer here, I've actually got the original software and everything on it, all the bloatware and all the stuff that HP put on these computers from the factory. So that's kind of a step back in time too when I get on there. It's got the Internet Advisor stuff and all the connections and everything for all of the dial-up networking internet service providers from back in the day. The old Network Associates virus scan. I mean, it's amazing to see this again and then remember all the stuff that I had forgotten these things came with. The Windows 98 welcome screen, because it was so different, so new, and the HP Internet Center. All right, now that we're booted up here, let's get in a little bit closer and take a look at this software. All right, we'll go ahead and get a tape put in there and let it get itself loaded up. So now, here we'll go ahead and close out all this extra stuff here that we don't really need. All right, so we jump in. The one-step backup program actually runs at startup on Windows. So if you want to do a quick, easy backup, you have that available to do that. What we're going to do is hop into the Ditto Tools program folder here. Now it gives us a lot of different options: one-step backup, one-step restore, the backup manager, make an emergency diskette, simple copy, which lets you copy single files or multiple files over to the tape or back. Not really doing a backup, just making copies. The works has everything, so we'll go ahead and click on that, open that up. Now once we open it, it's going to actually scan the hard drive to see exactly what's on there, and then we have our choices. So along the top is, you know, everything that we can do. You can back up, you can compare what's on the tape to the hard drive, your backups, you can restore your backups, configure everything with your tape drive. So if we go to backup here, so it's going to ask us what we want to back up. So we have the C drive, select the files. Now right now it's saying that there are 10,328 files on the hard drive, 1 gigabyte. Obviously we don't have enough room for that, so, and it would take forever. Let's see, so let's deselect all, and let's back up the games. what I've got on here. So that'd be Gianna Sisters, Commander Keen, Lemmings, and Lode Runner, and then Need for Speed. So that's 549 files, 78 megabytes. So let's click OK there. Now it's showing that that should take 14 minutes and 14 seconds to transfer 78.8 megabytes. All right, where are we going? Going to the drive. How to back it up. So what do we do if we hit speed? It still says 14 minutes. Safety says 14 minutes. So let's go default. When we want to back up now. So I say let's click start and see how long this actually takes. All right, save job as all files on drive C. Yeah, that's fine. Backup progress. All right. All right, now it's asking if we want to append or overwrite the cartridge. Let's append it because I want to keep what's on there on there. Alright, now we've started. Looks like we're transferring at around 5 megabits per minute. So maybe not quite as fast as they said, but still not bad, I guess, for the time. Still plenty of room on the cartridge. Well, there we go. Finally backed up. It only took 21 minutes and 17 seconds to back up 70-some megabytes worth of data. Well, definitely not the fastest thing in the world. All right, let's take a look now and see if we can read what's on that cartridge. Let's go ahead and get out of this. All right. I think for this we could actually go into the programs, backup manager. Actually, I think it's, where did I see that? I know I saw it on the copy program. Here, this is where you can go in and copy stuff back. So it's showing that we've got the original backup that was on this from 1996. Looks like December 28th of 1996. And then I did my backup here. Looks like we have 150 megabytes still left on the cartridge. It was formatted back in 1995. All right, well, that is the Ditto Easy 800 tape backup drive from the mid-1990s. Definitely not something that I had a whole lot of experience with. Not the fastest thing in the world. Seemed like it took forever to do that backup. But for a large storage solution in the mid-1990s, it was probably the way to go. Now, something that I found interesting, out of the 4 tapes that I got, all 4 are still fine. The backups that were on them that were made in the mid-1990s are still good. Nothing's corrupted. Everything's still there. So it seems like this is probably a really good archive format for backing up computer programs and other data. So what do you guys think? Did you use this format back in the day? Did you use something like it? What were your experiences with it? You know, I've heard that there are still some computer systems out there, older ones, that are still in use commercially or industrially that still use tape backup drives. So kind of neat. If you have any experience with that, make sure you leave your comments below. I love reading through those. And I'd like to remind everybody, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a video when it comes out. You know, we've got our subscriber count keeps growing, and I'm really appreciative for that. But the analytics show that like 85 or 90% of the people that watch the channel aren't subscribed, and you have no idea how much that really helps me out. For those of you that like a little bit of extra content, behind the scenes stuff, there are YouTube memberships available if you want to do that and get a little bit of extra content. But anyway, for today, this is all I've got. I appreciate you watching, and happy computing.